Hey friends, and welcome back to Timberborn. Last episode we survived our first bad tide, but they already warned us that future bad tides would not be as forgiving. So hopefully we are prepared for that. And we focused mainly on consolidating our little colony last time, so getting our food supply and our water supply back in order, and it looks like we did pretty well on that because our water supply is full up and our carrot supply is going up as well. So I'm glad we invested some time in that. And we started work on this big dam to keep the bad water away from our, I was gonna say crops, but our trees. And it will be a while before they are done with this, but we'll just let them keep working on this. While they're working on that, I want to look at this dam over here. And we already designed it. But now that we have metal, I want to look at valves. Because we're getting to a point that, at least for me and my ADHD, there's going to be too many moving parts to handle at the starts of droughts and or bad tides. I noticed in editing that actually while we had the bad tide, I forgot to pause these water pumpers. So it was only a 1-day bad tide, so it wasn't that serious, but if it would have been longer, we would have actually drained this river because I forgot to pause these. So while they're working on the dam and getting our food supply up, I want to have a look at automating some stuff, and I think valves are the first step towards that. I am also gonna unpause some of these houses because I think we're just a little shy of the number of beavers we want to have. And I think we produce enough that we can handle the increase in population. And I'm actually gonna unpause these as well. So that should add like 4 new beavers-ish. Oh wait, what? Do we have 15 free beds? How does unpausing 2 houses lead to 50? Oh wait, a bunch of beavers died of old age. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so now we have room for 77 beavers. Okay, maybe that is a bit too much. I think 69 beavers. Oh no, 71 beavers should be good enough for now because we are at 62 at the moment. Yeah. Let's take it slow and not increase our population by like 30 beavers in half an hour like we did a couple of episodes ago. Let's fast forward through the night, and then when it's daytime again, we're gonna have a look at designing this dam. And I think we need to fill valves. One-way outlet that regulates the downstream water level. Other buildings can be built on its top. Yeah, I think I'm gonna unlock this. It costs 5 planks and 5 metal blocks, but we do have 14 metal blocks now, so... Okay, so let's remove this. They hadn't built it anyway, so... And then if we replace these with valves... Let's build one for now, just to see what it does. Target height synchronized with adjacent fill valves. And the target height is... Ah, wait. It's a bit hard to see, but... It's regulating the downstream height. I mean, it says regulate the downstream water level, so I guess that makes sense. So we could say we want it to be like at 60 centimeters, which is higher than the current water level, so it should always output water when there's no one. Or we could just set it to the height it is at now. So it should always maintain this flow. And then I think we can build levees on top to just store more water. No, wait, does that work? That doesn't work, right? Because these guys will just let water through all the time, so that won't store water. Wait, how do we do this? Because the floodgates store the water, but I have to operate them myself. Oh wait, can I use the new automation? Lever, relay, flow sensor, depth sensor. Maybe we can put a depth sensor over here and over here. And they will only open once both... Oh wait, they're building it. I don't want that. And once both requirements are met using the relay, I think. I'm not sure how to do this. Maybe we start with just the regular floodgates. Actually, let's start by building this little dam over here, because that is gonna be sort of pivotal to get this up and running. Okay, so can we automate these guys then? So I don't have to remember to open and close these when there's pollution. There was a contamination sensor, right? Yeah. So if we build that over here, is that a good place? Maybe over here. And then also one on this side, somewhere over here. We can't reach it. Ah, finally used for the spiral staircase. Didn't unlock it for nothing. Then we can say when measurement more than 5%, you turn on. And then these guys we automate with this one. And these guys as well. Okay, so when it's off, so right now it's off because there's no contamination. These guys are all the way up. When it's on, these are all the way down. When it's these guys, when it's off, they are at 190. And when it's on, they go to 2 meters. Yeah, that's correct. And then we divert the water that way. Okay. And then on this side, we automate you and you. When it's off, you're at 1 meter. When it's on, you are completely opened. And these guys, when it's off, 2.9. When it's on, 3 meters. Okay, so we shouldn't have to think about these guys in a bad tide anymore. Then what we can do over here is... Do we have one for flow? Yes. So we could say... Yeah, let's build it over here. Could we squeeze it in over here somewhere? I guess there's flow over here, so it should be fine. I'd like to have it measure like right in front of the water. Maybe we can do it over here. Because currently the flow is 0.45 cubic meters per second. So we could say when flow is lower than 0.35, then you stay off. Wait, what? Shouldn't you then turn on? Maybe it doesn't work because it hasn't been built yet. But what I would like to do is automate these guys. So... oh, that doesn't work right now because the sensor doesn't work yet. Let's high prioritize this. Because I want to see how it works. Because then we can tell these guys to quit working when there's no water flow. Because when there's no water flow, they can't work anyways because they don't have power. So that would open up some beavers to work other jobs when there's no flowing water. Not that I know other jobs at the moment, but I mean inventing of course, but not much inventing to be done at the moment. So how are you guys coping with the farming? Because our carrot supply is going up very nicely, but I also see a bunch of sunflowers. Are these ready? Yeah, so why are they not getting harvested? These three are prioritizing harvesting. Maybe I tell these guys to focus on the sunflowers first, because we have enough carrots now. And there's more sunflowers than carrots, so maybe if we get the sunflowers first and then pick up the carrots. Because a sort of mid-term goal is to get our well-being up further so they walk and work faster, and obviously to get their life expectancy up as well. But if they walk and work faster, they'll be able to manage the farms more easily, so it will be easier to produce food for the colony. And having a steady supply of sunflower seeds obviously helps with the well-being, so... And speaking of well-being, is there anything we can add to this contraption? our housing. I think we decided we want to get the decorations to reach every single house, and we're not doing that at the moment. So how can we be smart about this? Let's see, a shrub only does the immediate area surrounding it. So if we do shrubs in the corners over there, we get... Do we get this house? It's hard to tell. Because this... Oh, this is a triple lodge, so there's nothing underneath here. So we get this, this, and this. Then we need these two houses. And these guys. So if we divert the path a little bit... and put bushes over there. And then we only have the corner houses left. But that should improve the well-being of a bunch of beavers already. And then we have the lanterns. They also only do the touching or the adjacent square. This is where it gets tricky. I think if we do something like this, we should get most houses. Again, we don't get the houses on the outside edge, but I think we're gonna have to look into those later. And the weather vane, that does a way bigger area. These already cover most houses. We could do them on the top like this. And then I think we'll start a new sort of decoration area on the edges to get those houses. What about roofs? They also only add in a range of one tile, and they block us building up, although I guess all the decoration blocks us from building up anyway. We'll let them build this first. Hopefully they can reach these, but they might be too high up, I'm not sure. Oh, they built the sensor. Nice. Okay, so when this detects less flow than 0.53, it's off. I feel like it should turn on with... I feel like it works in reverse, but oh well. So if you measure less than 0.35 cubic meters per second, you turn off apparently. Oh no, wait, you are off right now. You turn on when this happens. Okay, okay, never mind. I'm getting there, I'm getting there. So if we automate this with the flow sensor, we don't want you to be paused right now. We want you to... Okay, so we have to do it the other way around. So when you detect more than 0.35, buildings turn on. I guess it's just like when this is on, everything linked with it is on as well. Okay, so that should mean that once water stops flowing, then these 5 buildings get paused and these beavers are free to do something else. I'm curious to see if that will work. We are running a bit low on logs, which is not ideal. And there's also not a lot of trees that have grown. How far away are the... oh, there still have 20 days to go. These have 15. These are almost done, like 1 day more, 2 days. And we might have to start looking into more foresters, and I think that will also mean a new forest area, because I don't think this forester can keep up with a 4th lumberjack, judging by how few grown trees there are over here. Although that might not be the measurement we need to look at. We might, because that mainly has to do with how fast the beavers work and how fast the trees grow, I guess. I don't see a lot of spots without trees, so I guess the forester can keep up pretty well, but I'm not sure how that would change if we would get a 4th lumberjack in here. I think I'm gonna start looking out for an area where we can start a new forest. And I also see we actually have an unemployed beaver, so it might be worth it to start looking at either more scientists or more food production. How far away are these? Still at least 12 days away. Our carrots are back up at 1,000, so that's good. Our carrots are increasing rapidly. And I think I might actually replace some of these carrots with sunflowers like we discussed last episode. And we might start looking at different crops as well, because that's also good for our well-being, more food variety. So after sunflowers, it's potatoes. And I'm not sure if we can just eat potatoes straight up. Let's see, in food. Aquatic farmhouse for aquatic crops. The grill. Grills vegetables. Potatoes, chestnuts, and spatterduck. It takes some wood, but it turns it into more food. So 1 potato becomes 4 grilled potatoes. And 1 chestnut becomes 2 grilled chestnuts. 1 spatterduck becomes 3 grilled spatterduck. So it takes an extra beaver to grill it, but it produces more food per square of land. So that might be something that's worth looking into as well. But for both farms and forests, we need more green land. So we have to start thinking about where we want to do that. We have a little strip of green land over here, but that's also susceptible to the bad tides that flow through here. Because I think last bad tide we saw the corruption spreading to about here. And I'm not sure actually how far that would spread if this dam is finished. Because if we retain more fresh water here, it should keep this area green as well. So this might actually be an area that is worth looking into. So let's see if that's the way we want to go. We can put some stairs over here. Get some lumberjacks. And that will give us a bunch more wood and a lot of space. And then I think I'll get another farm on the go somewhere over here. I think food is actually a higher priority than logs at the moment, which is like beaver blasphemy, but oh well. Okay, but while they're working on chopping those trees, let's see what we want to do over here. Because I like the idea of those valves, that they regulate the downstream water level, but I'm not sure how we are supposed to work with that if we also want to store water. We could build 2 or 3 of these on top of each other. Let's build it out of range of the beavers. I think we decided on 2. Yeah, 2. And then we could tell them both to try and reach this target height. But we could say that this one only turns on when the water level behind it is a certain height. So we put a depth sensor behind it. So this one stays closed until this water has dropped so much that this one is pointless. But then I feel like we could do the same with floodgates and automate them. But then we'd need depth sensors on both sides, I think. Maybe this is the way to do it. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Because this is not a critical dam at the moment, so we have a bit of wiggle room to experiment. Okay, and then we need a depth sensor behind it. And we need stairs to get up there. Okay, so this depth sensor, we want it to keep the bottom row closed as long as there is water in here. So let's see. I guess when water drops below 1 meter, these guys can activate, because when it's below 1 meter, that means this will have dried up and these aren't functional anymore. I think that works. And then we tell this one, let's see, this guy should be on right now, and when it's on, the target height is 0. No, target height is a meter. Unlimited? I'm not sure if this is doing what I hope it's doing. Wait, before we build all of this, let's just build one single section of it. Just so we can see how this is supposed to work. Because I don't think this is doing what I was hoping it would be doing. But that also means that I'm not sure how I should be doing it. Because these guys, they just wanted to reach the target height. That part checks out. But if we go for a target height of 0 meters, does that mean it won't let any water through? So is this guy now functioning as a levee? It's hard to tell if water is flowing through or not. Because to me it looks like there's still water flowing through here. But if he wants to reach a target height of 0 meters, I'd say he would stop flowing. So maybe this does work like I think it does. Okay, I think we need to build the first layer in order to understand this. Okay. Bennett Jr., you're hungry and thirsty, but you are finishing this flow sensor, or this depth sensor. Okay, so let's see. You are measuring that the water level is lower than 1 meter, because it's 0.36, so you are on. That means that these guys are on, and when they are on, the target height is 0 meters. And it does look like they are blocking the water now. So we might have done this correctly. And these guys can just always be on, because we just need to keep the river flowing. So I think we've done it correctly this time. And hopefully this will make sure the river always keeps flowing from this reservoir. Actually. They built these. Okay, good. I was just gonna say, what if we fill this up and it all flows into the colony? And we might even consider putting some water pumpers over here somewhere. Just to increase our water supply if we need it. But we are at 1300 water right now, so I think 5 is fine. Okay, let's have them work on this. And we'll come back to it when it's finished. How are we doing over here? We're doing good on the carrots. We are now planting the new sunflowers. So hopefully sunflower seeds will start increasing soon as well. Our logs have gone up. That's nice. Okay, so it looks like everything has stabilized quite a bit. And we have 3 unemployed beavers. Despite the fact that we added 3... Oh, that's why our logs went up. We added 3 new lumberjacks, of course. And let's use this opportunity to increase our supply of berries as well. And once all these berries are picked, I will have them destroy the berries so we can make farmland. And I'm thinking of adding more inventors. Because we have 9 unemployed beavers now. Actually, what are these? Oh, bots. Oh, we can have robots. This produces fuel. This produces bot parts. And this produces the bots. Okay, but they take a lot of supplies we don't have a lot of yet, so... Observatory. By exploring the stars, beavers gain more knowledge about the world they live in. 1000 science, though. And 10 pine resin, which we are not gathering yet. But it produces 10 science every 3/4 of an hour. And these guys produce 1 science per hour. So the observatory is way more efficient. Okay, so maybe we start working towards that. But that does mean we need the tapper shack. And let's get that on the go. And you can start tapping pine resin. Where do we store pine resin? Do we store it in barrels or in... like in the tanks or in the warehouse? Pine resin warehouse, okay. Let's just get a large warehouse right next to the tapper. And you can slowly start filling that up with pine resin. I did notice some weird water level changes over here, so what is happening? Ah... Okay, so this is working because the water is now higher than 1 meter because they all turned off. Wait, is it working? I'm so confused. Okay, so when they're off, the target height is 0.3 meter. When they're on, the target height is 0 meters. Currently they're off. So why is water pooling up behind them and not flowing through? No, it is flowing through. And then it turns on. Oh, this might not work like I want it because I don't want it to create mini floods all the time. So what if we say the target height is 0.5 meter? Will that keep them on continuously? Yeah, I'm afraid we're just gonna need floodgates over here. See, they're doing weird stuff with turning on and turning off again. Okay, what if we just push on and build a second layer just to see how it works with the water storage? And this might be silly and a waste of time and effort, but I just want to know if we can get this to work, because I feel like I'm on the brink of doing something smart, but I'm not sure how. We are now flooding this entire back area, so that's cool. Slowly flooding the back area. Like I predicted, this takes a while to fill up. Maybe that's also why it's sloshing back and forth, because it's using a lot of water to fill this. Okay, so we're still maintaining our carrots. That's nice. We are slowly increasing our berries, because these guys are hard at work. These guys are done. And actually, let's mark this all for demolition. These lumberjacks can leave again. And I think I'm gonna add another hauling hut with all the unemployed beavers we have going on. They can help with all the water and food that has to be transported everywhere. Let's put it over here somewhere. We do have all the decorations in, so that's nice. So our well-being should be pretty good right now. Yeah, all the aesthetics are up. Nice. We do have an average well-being of 11 now, so cool. Okay, so they built the final piece. So let's see if we can get this to work like we want it to. So these top guys are targeting a height of 0.3 meters. That's fine. They just want to keep the river flowing at all times. So that's doing what it's supposed to do. So now we have a meter of extra water stored over here, but our river still flows as normal. And then this guy is detecting we now have... Let's put this a little lower, actually. We have a little over a meter of water, so it's off. And when it gets below a meter of water, it turns... Wait, what happens when we just do this so it turns on? Then the water starts rising immediately. Oh. So these guys block a little bit of water just by themselves, even when they are open. Yeah, okay, so we want... Actually, we want this the reverse. So when it is off, these guys need to be not letting out water. When this turns on, that means the water level here is too low for these guys to let out water. And then we want them to turn on. I think that's how it should work. I think we should now store a little over a meter of water over here and only let it out lower than that once this starts drying up. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna keep an eye on this, but I think we figured it out. And we do have a really deep blue, pretty deep blue lake of water storage over here now. Nice. Actually, what we could do, maybe... Maybe we could turn this area green if we make a sort of side river that ends in a lake. But that would dry up really quickly in a drought, so that would only be useful for trees, I think, and not for farming. Something to think about for the future. Okay, so how are the farmers doing? You guys are just planting. You guys are prioritizing harvesting, and you are prioritizing sunflowers. And the sunflower seeds are going up a little bit. But I think these guys, yeah, they haven't grown yet for the first time. So it will be a while until we notice the effects of this added sunflower field. And you guys are working hard on the carrots. Oh, hello. Used to be an inventor, but He took one look at the crops and he thought, this can be improved. Let's become a farmer. I like how he went to another farmhouse to eat. He's not eating his own crops. That's not dodgy at all, Beelzebub. What are you doing with those crops? Yeah. We'll trust you for now. Dangerous little beaver. Ooh, we have the first floodgates going in. Nice. And we have a contamination sensor up here, so it's currently off. And that means these are like that. Yeah, okay, so this should all be working fine. Why is this one not built yet? Too far from a district, it needs the stairs. Oh, it needs treated planks. Oh, right, I forgot about that. Okay, so we can't build those here. That's slightly annoying. So we're gonna do it like this. Okay. And I think I will add... Or will I add more inventors? No, maybe not, because if this hauling post is built, then they'll all become haulers. So I don't think it's worth it to add more inventors. Although I would like more science, more faster, but oh well. You guys are on your way to finish this. Oh, and we have a bad tide approaching. So we can immediately start to see our automation in action. Usage is 8. Wait, what? What does that mean? It can only go on and off 8 times? Wait, what? Do I need to build these again after 8 times? This has 5 left. This one as well. Wait, what does that mean? This one has 7. Oh... I guess it's the amount of buildings that can be connected to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this has 7 floodgates connected to it. Ah, okay. It's being used 7 times. Okay. Fair enough. I get it. But yeah, so this dam and this dam should now work automatically when the bad tide happens. And this one should keep our river flowing for a while after the bad tide or a drought starts. These guys should pause their work automatically when the river stops flowing. And I think we can add one more for the water pumpers. Because it's fine that they keep pumping for a while, but I think once it drops below half a meter... Oh no, we need to do this the reverse. So when it's higher than half a meter, these guys are allowed to work. So that means that when the river starts drying up in a drought, these guys will stop working. You guys are done with the berry picking, so you can do something else. And I think this is a job for builders, so it will be a while before they get to this. Because they're gonna build this dam, which, to be fair, is progressing very nicely. The floodgates are already in. They're now just working on the levees, and then we'll see this water level rise up slowly. We're set to 1.9. So this should be full of water, and I think our river water level will be higher as well. And then these shouldn't serve a function anymore, actually. So we might remove this dam. Okay. So let's have a look at our average well-being. We are getting 11 because we have no hungry or thirsty beavers. Everyone sleeping, or everyone has slept. They all have a house. Some of them have wet fur. They are eating carrots and sunflowers. Everyone is eating sunflowers now, so that's good. Even though our supply is not that high at the moment. Some of them are enjoying the campfire. Most of them are enjoying the rooftop terrace. Only half of them are using the contemplation spot. So we might have to add another campfire and more contemplation spots. And everyone is getting exposed to shrubs, lanterns, and the weather vanes, so we don't need to add more of those at the moment. Okay, so let's see what we can do about the campfire. We can add one more campfire over here. I would like one on this side for symmetry, but we can't, so that's a shame. I'm guessing I'm gonna have to deal with a lack of symmetry. And we can do some more contemplation spots just dotted around. Because I think... yeah, well-being 12 gives them 10% extra movement speed, so that would be nice to get with the distances we are traveling constantly. So if we can get that well-being up a little bit with these extra contemplation spots in the campfire, that would be nice. And I would also like more sunflower seeds. Although these still haven't grown for the first time, so I might hold off a little while longer to see what the effect is of this. Oh, and we have 10 more haulers now. And 3 inventors unstaffed, but that's fine. And we're gonna have to look into even more of a seasonal approach, I guess, because if this stuff is all automated... oh wait, we can automate the pumpers as well. But yeah, if we are automating... if these guys all stop working in a drought or a bad tide, that's 10 extra beavers who are not doing anything, so... it might be good to start looking at stuff we can do when that happens. I'm not sure if there are things we need to produce, like food we need constantly, water we need constantly. The only reason we stop pumping water is because we don't want the river to dry out and our crops to die. So are there things we can work on sometimes? We might be... ooh, a large water pump. Maximum depth 4 meters. Maximum depth 2 meters. Oh, these can't reach as deep. Okay. 3 beavers work in 1 water pump. They produce 5 water per third of an hour. These 1. Okay, so this is more efficient. And it can reach deeper, so this might be interesting somewhere over here. Oh yeah, look, their straw is very long. These only have a short straw. Yeah, so we might start using this lake as like a big water reserve where we can just pump up water all the time. But I was gonna look at the bad water pump, because I think we needed bad water for dynamite, but that's not something we need to produce all the time. So maybe we can get like a little industry going over here that focuses on bad water and dynamite production and stuff like that. And it only turns on when we have no flowing water in the main colony. The only problem is this is so far away from home, so if these guys want to drink or eat, they have a long way to travel. So we might actually want to put a little storage for food and water over here as well. And that's just more jobs for our haulers, which is fine because that's what they do. Yeah, the explosive factory needs bad water to produce dynamite, or sorry, explosives. And 150 horsepower. Oh, so we do need power. But we could put a water wheel in this water, I think. Yeah, it only produce 97 horsepower though, so that's not great. And we can't narrow this river to increase the flow. Yeah, so this thing just produces a very slow but steady amount of bad water. Okay, this seems to be flowing a lot faster. Yeah, this one wheel would produce 260 horsepower. Because this is fed by regular water and bad water. Actually, looking at this, it might be... Maybe it would be an option to get this water to flow this way. And we can put dams over here, so then when there's a bad season, it will flow this way. And when there's not a bad season, it will flow this way. And we'll just give us more water over here and more green area over here where we can plant a forest. Or we could just use this, honestly. Just cut these trees and plant new oaks. Maybe we do that. Maybe we just extend this road through this little valley over here. Because we have run out of logs. Yeah, that might not be a bad idea to continue this road. So maybe we can, if we put a lumberjack over here. And cut down all these birches. And we remove one row of berry bushes, then we can continue this road onwards. And I think we will give them more options as well. Okay, and then we can look into making our way over here. And then we can set up a new foresting area over here to get more logs. And I think we can get power production over here for dynamite production, and maybe we do some more industry over here. Maybe we can do making paper and stuff like that. Just all wood products over here. And then we can repurpose these guys to become... Oh wait, did we need power for the food stuff? Real doesn't need power. What about the grist mill? Grinds roots and seeds into flour. It uses wheat and cattail. That does use power. Bakery bakes bread and pastries from... Wow, bakes bread and pastries from different flours. It doesn't need power. Beehive boosts the growth of nearby crops. Medium chance of bee sting. Oh. It needs paper. We don't have paper. Oh, that could be cool. We can place them in the farms and crops will grow faster. Ooh, that's a perfect square. Lovely. That might be nice. But first we need to start producing paper, so... But yeah, I think our colony is coming along nicely. We've done a lot of planning and prepping for the future. Growing our colony slightly. And our new dam is coming along nicely as well. But I think that's gonna be it for me today. And then next time we can see if our new automation at our dams actually does what it's supposed to do and protects us from the bad tide that is happening soon. So I hope you guys will join me next episode and we will face this new bad tide together. Hopefully it won't be a long one. And then we can also start looking into more industry, more production and stuff like that. So hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good rest of your day. And I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.